Vice President Harris attending that Situation Room meeting along with President Biden and the national security team. Let's bring in the Washington Post, Marc Thiessen, also a Fox News contributor. So we're on the edge of what could explode into a war that could engulf the Middle East. This Middle East war between Israel and Gaza occurred on Biden's watch, as did Afghanistan.
Yep.
We're likely going to see a picture of Kamala Harris very close to the president in the Situation Room talking about this situation. But does she have the chops to handle a hot zone like this?
I don't think she does, but it's a very tough situation because, of course, most vice presidents who run for president do so after they've left office. They're not actually sitting vice presidents. We've only had one sitting vice president who's won the presidency in 188 years, which was George H.W. Bush. The previous, last person to do it before him was Martin Van Buren in 1836. So it's a very unusual situation for a sitting vice president to win the presidency. And several have tried. Al Gore did.
I'll never get that 18 months of my life.
But that was
back.
a time of peace, right? That was a time of peace for the most part. We were a couple of years. We were a year before 9/11, and then you had Bush, which was at the perestroika and glasnost. The Cold War was about to end. Really, the analogy is 1968 with Lyndon Johnson. Where you had a war raging, just like we have two wars raging in the world right now. You had Vietnam raging, and so Hubert Humphrey, his vice president, ran after Lyndon Johnson decided not to run, and Johnson actually stopped the bombing, suspended the bombing in Vietnam to help him because of the anti-war protesters. So it's fascinating right now the political pressures on Biden, whether he does something in the Middle East with regard to Israel to help her with the pro-Hamas protesters who are rolling the Democratic Party, because they're both those conventions were in Chicago. 68 and the current one. So there's a lot of analogies between now and 1968.
So while we're coming to the end of his presidency, to your point, there's still a lot that can happen.
Yeah.
And to have her involved in these high-level meetings is a bit unprecedented, but interesting. So how involved do you believe, or are you hearing she is?
So constitutionally, the vice president's only role in foreign policy is to advise the president. So she has no line authority. She's not in the military chain of command, but she has to toe the administration line because you can only have one commander-in-chief at the same time, at a time. And so you can't have a situation where the vice president is going off and making her own foreign policy when she's the sitting vice president of the administration, because that sends a divided message into the world. So if she wants to be tougher on Israel for the purpose of winning over voters in Dearborn, she really has to stay true to whatever Biden ends up doing in the Middle East. The real danger is that Biden makes decisions about what's happening in the Middle East in order to help her win the presidency, which could be really troubling.
So she's side by side with the president right now on the brink of what could be an escalation to lead to a wider war in the Middle East. She was also side by side with the president when he made the decision to withdraw from Afghanistan. We know how badly that went. Let's get in the Wayback Machine and go back to August the 18th, 2021, when Kamala Harris talked about being right there with the president, making the decision about Afghanistan. Listen here.
President Biden always said that he wants you to be the last person in the room, particularly for big decisions, just as he was for President Obama. He just made a really big decision, Afghanistan.
Yes.
Were you the last person in the room?
Yes.
And you feel comfortable?
I do.
Well, the COVID distancing was wild, too. So does she own Afghanistan as well? And can Trump try to leverage that against her?
Well, so the problem is she owns everything because it's the Biden-Harris administration.
Because she's running away from it as fast as she can.
She owns Afghanistan. She was there, the last person in the room. She owns that debacle. She also owns the border. She's trying to desperately run against it with borders national security. She's trying to run against and say, well, she wasn't the border czar. If the border was a huge success, she'd be claiming to be the border czar. She'd say, of course, I wear it like a badge of honor. So she's got this. She's one of the straitjackets you're in, especially when you're serving the worst president of my lifetime, who has unleashed a series of disasters unparalleled since Jimmy Carter, is that you own those disasters and you're constrained in your ability to distance yourself from them because you're the sitting vice
Mark,
president.
as you're talking, I'm noticing the Dow falling even further.
Don't blame me for that. I do not take ownership of that.
My goodness, it's down more than 1,000 now.
I'm not in any administration. I have no power to do anything. I just come to talk to you.
Interesting. Good to see you.
Good to see you,
Thanks
too.
for being here.
All right. We'll see you at the convention.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.